Hola, ¿qué tal, gente? ¿Cómo están? Bienvenidos de nuevo al canal y bienvenidos tenemos Alan Wake, carnal. Al Alan Wake, vamos a continuar donde lo habíamos dejado. Hayamos terminado el capítulo número 2, un capítulo interesante. Vimos en el capítulo anterior que a este tipo de mesera, pues, había sido como que poseída por esa señora, así que vamos a ver.
Name's Randolph. I'm
No me
her
enrollo nada
manager.
más, continuamos,
We're looking
¿no?
for Rose. Works as a waitress down at the diner.
Rose, se llama
Rose.
Rose.
Sure. Nice girl. Who wants to know?
I'm Alan Wake.
The writer, huh? I heard on the radio you were visiting. Well, I'll show you her trailer. That Rose, she's a nice girl. Always pays her rent on time.
Muy
As I
bien.
was saying, Al, I found all sorts of weird stuff from the local newspaper's archives. This place is crazy. Disappearances, mysterious deaths, urban legends come true, and get this, most of this stuff takes place around Cauldron Lake.
Well, you ain't wrong, mister. The Indians thought the lake was a doorway to the underworld. I'm the God-fearing type myself. I don't hold with that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, there was an island there owned by a guy called Thomas Zane. Now, some of the
Perrito.
articles I found about him make him out to be a famous writer, but I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote. Zane was heavily into diving, so much so that the place came to be called Diver's Isle. But the volcano under the lake erupted in 1970, and Zane went down with the island.
Yeah, how about that? It was there in the morning, as if it had fallen from the sky. But it would take a tornado to lift something like that. We're damn lucky it didn't crush any of the trailers.
Perdón, estaba viendo la lancha. Una disculpa.
Come on, mister.
Sí,
I'll
vamos.
take you to Rose's trailer.
Es aquí, ¿no? ¿Puedo entrar? No. Oye.
It gets better. A local girl, Barbara Jagger, drowned in Cauldron Lake just a week earlier. They were lovers.
Sure, Jagger's a local spook store. The Scratchin' Hag. Comes for you in the dark. Childish stuff like that.
Anyway, Al, I'm just getting to the best part. All of the articles about this stuff were written by Cynthia Weaver. I asked around, and she's that crazy bag lady you met.
What, the lamp lady? She can be a little loopy, but she's not homeless or anything.
Yeah, anyway.
Pues sí se vea loca, la
she
verdad,
met
esa
both
señora.
Jagger and Zane before
Jagger,
they
Mr.
were
Jagger,
married,
¿eh?
and she
Ah.
had some kind of a breakdown.
Ah. What the fuck, man. ¿Qué? ¿A qué vinimos aquí, pendejo? Llame a la casa de Rose. ¿Dónde es? Si quieres súbete arriba de mí, güey, para subir, para llegar más rápido. Desgraciado. Ah, pobrecito señor, dale, dale. A tu ritmo, a tu ritmo. A tu ritmo, a tu ritmo. Esto debe ser de No, son juguetes de niños.
Well, mister, this
Okay.
here's Rose's trailer. You mind me asking what you want?
Qué bonita casa, la
We're
verdad.
just here to talk to her, pal.
Okay, Rose.
Welcome to, oh dear, Mr. Wake. I'm so glad you're here.
Rose, you have my manuscript?
Oh, oh yes, yes. Please,
¿Cómo no te
come
das
in.
cuenta que habla muy diferente a como la conocimos?
Hey, this is really good.
Rose,
Yes,
my manuscript. I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry. She doesn't have anything.
Yeah, hey, Al? Al, what's... Oh...
Barry!
Verga.
What? What?
Oye, esa taza, ¿por qué no se rompió? Pregunta seria.
It's coming for you, hiding in my barber's skin. I'm too weak to stop it. You must turn the lights on.
¿Y quién es el que me habla? ¿Tú quién chingados eres?
Finish what you started. I insist.
You must turn the lights on.
Madres.
Light on.
Back to work, boy.
I felt
Wow,
nauseous,
qué bien.
hungover. Only anger kept me going.
I can't tell reality from dream anymore, but it seems I have an imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jacker. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster. My manuscript is being heavily revised. The edits are getting very aggressive, and each day there's less of me and more of her. I hate it, but I know she's right. She
Barbara
promises me
Jagger.
I can save Alice this way. She knows more of this than I do. About the complex incantation I'm attempting. About this place. She's worked with another writer under similar circumstances, Thomas Zane. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I'm getting close. I can feel it.
Ok, interesante. Ahí está Barry, está hecho mierda
Rose took a
nuestro
day
amigo.
from me. I had less than 12 hours left to meet the kidnapper. All I could do was get Barry into the car, work something out once I got on the road.
Welcome to the Oh Dear Diner. What can I get you today? Coffee?
I couldn't work up much hate for Rose. Something had used her to get to me and left its mark.
First refill is free. Milk and sugar on the counter.
Hija,
there.
hija, me tengo
Would
que
you
ir.
like to hear today's specials? Thank you. A nice day.
Lo que digas.
Come back soon.
My gun and flashlight were gone. I'd have to find a way to get Barry into the car as quickly as possible. There was no time to waste.
Esto lo puedo leer.
Mr. Randolph liked Rose. That little smile she had. How she was still sweet when life had tried so hard to make her bitter. It wasn't any of his business what she did in her trailer. But those strangers, the writer and his smart-ass sidekick, looked like trouble. And they'd been in there for hours, way past her normal bedtime. He reached for the phone and called the sheriff's station.
Ok. Ve al coche. Uf. Va a ser muy complicado esto, ¿verdad? Me lo vas a complicar, ¿verdad? Vamos a escuchar esto. Ah, no lo puedo escuchar. Debería poder escucharlo, ¿no? Ah, ese sí.
I just stepped outside to catch a breath of fresh air. Let me tell you, the weather's getting heavy. Nights like this make me especially glad I'm here talking to you and not home in bed. Once the weather takes a turn like this, I can't sleep at all. It's all tangled bed sheets and dark thoughts, punctuated by the occasional plunge into nightmare. Is it just me? Well, perhaps it is. But I hope I can make the night a little bit easier to get through. Caller, you're on KBF FM.
Hey, hi, it's Walt Snyder.
What's on your mind, Walt?
Well, I ain't the way you are, but, well, I can't sleep either, you know? I just been staring out the window here, trying to make sense of it all, but, I ain't been drinking either, you know? I just...
Well, you sound like a man with a problem, Walt.
No, claro que sí.
Argument with Danny, you know, Danny, and, then I got in trouble with the law, you know, and, I'm just, well...
I heard something like that, Walt.
Yeah, well, you know, he's, you know, Danny's my best friend, and, they let me out on bail today, and now I'm just alone here at the window, you know, waiting, man, and there's something in the air tonight, man.
I was just outside looking up at the sky above our broadcast tower thinking the same thing. What are you waiting for, Walt?
I don't know. You know, something's gonna happen. You know, I think I better go.
Well, Walt, maybe...
No, thanks, Pat.
Well, Good luck to you, Walt. Hang in there. Let's take a little break, folks. This weather's really something else, huh?
How can I be sure you will walk away?
Ok. Qué creepy, Bueno, vamos a lo que vamos, al coche. Pero como te digo, esto no va a ser nada fácil. Me hace raro que esto fuera tan fácil. Voy a investigar. Wow. Ah, el FBI, ¿verdad?
knows what you've done to that poor girl. This is Agent Nightingale, FBI. Get him up, Hemingway. You're under arrest. You move a muscle, I'll unload right in your goddamn face. Stay right where you are, Slane.
Qué falso. No, es un videojuego. Y qué malo es el FBI.
What are? I'm standing right here, you goddamn maniac.
Y ahora quedamos en el bosque otra vez.
I hated to leave Barry behind, but there was no way I'd miss my appointment with the kidnapper.
No, y para lo que corre este hombre, puta, güey, ya valió madre. Tienes que correr, güey. No, hombre, güey, ¿qué andas haciendo, papi? Te está persiguiendo el mismísimo FBI, cabrón. ¿Cómo te vas a detener? Helicóptero y todo el pedo. Me siento como GTA. GTA 6. Versión Alan Wake. Uf, casi me ve.
Oh, damn.
No, no, no. No estoy aquí. O sea, sí estoy aquí, pero no aquí. Qué tontos son estos policías. Me retiro. ¿Qué haces, hijo de tu pinche madre? ¡Súbete, cabrón! Oye, la policía. La policía te está extorsionando. ¿Eso qué es una nota? La llevo. Y lo leo. Así, en medio de la policía.
For decades, the darkness that wore Barbara Jagger's skin slept fitfully in the dark place that was its home and prison. It was hungry and in pain. It dreamed of its nights of glory when the poet's writing had called it from the depths and given it a brief, terrible taste of power and freedom. The rock stars had stirred it from the deep sleep the poet had sunk it back to in the end. When it sensed the writer on the ferry, it opened its eyes.
Las estrellas de rock, sí, como Van Helen. Eddie Van Helen. No. No. Corre. Corre, corre. Aquí estoy seguro. Aquí estoy seguro. Ahora, corre. Muy bien, es como tipo más sigilo, ¿no? Esta parte. Sí, ¿no? Porque no tengo armas, güey. Voy literalmente. ¿Qué haces, puñetón? ¡Cabrón! ¿Te quieres? Ay, pensé que había que meterse. Ay, qué estúpido estoy. Alto, Andy, Andy, ¿es Andy? Corre, corre. What the fuck? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Quién es Andy? ¿Y por qué huyó la policía? ¿Y por qué corrió el mismísimo FBI,
This
güey?
horror was everywhere I went, circling me. The cops didn't stand a chance. They were after a writer, not a monster.
It's Blake's doing.
Wait, are you seriously telling me that geek writer just took out my deputies? Are you kidding? I mean, have you seen this guy? He wears a tweed jacket. Over.
He's the guy we're chasing. If it's not him, who then? Bigfoot? Over.
I don't know yet, but I'm not in the habit of jumping to conclusions. That tends to come back and bite you in the ass. Out.
¿La creen que yo hice todo esto? What the fuck, man? ¿Cómo voy a hacer todo esto yo? Imposible. No tengo superpoderes. No soy Spider-Man. No soy un Superman. Soy un simple mortal. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? Señor helicóptero. ¿No me va a hacer daño? ¡Ay, hijo de puta! No, 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 güey, corre, güey, 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 por el amor de Dios, Alan, güey, corre, hijo de mío. Pero, güey, ¿quieres correr? What the fuck, ¿le quiere pasar el helicóptero? Ay, güey, se estrelló el helicóptero. ¿Qué pedo? ¿Cómo entro aquí? Ok. Abre aquí. ¿Usar? Ah, esto, ok.
This is James. Mulligan Thornton, come in. Over.
Thornton here. James, we got both Wheeler and Rose in custody. They didn't put up a fight or anything. Why, they were... Hey, what are you... Come on!
Sit down and give me that. James, Mulligan here. Over. Go ahead, Mulligan. Over. We got Wheeler and Rose here. Wheeler's drunk or hopped up on something. Speaking of which, that Fed had a pretty distinctive whiff of Otis Scotch about him, you know what I mean. Over. I don't have anything on that, Deputy Mulligan. Over. Well, whatever. Anyway, Rose is just being plain weird here. You better get Doc in to take a look at both. Over. Gotcha. You better get them here quickly. The, Fed's gonna want to interview Wheeler. Over. Oh, yeah, I'll bet he does. Looks like they have a lot in common. Mulligan out.
Ok, ok. Agarraron a Rose y al otro güey. Pareció que estaban drogados, dijeron. Están poseídos, más bien, diré yo. Pero está bien. Drogados, me gusta la palabra.
I imagined that the broadcast tower in the distance was part of the local radio station. Maine seemed like a decent guy. Perhaps he could give me directions to the coal mine.
Quieres caer en mi emisora de radio. Pero si estás consciente de que no tengo balas ni nada de eso.
Unnatural shadows clung at the gate. The darkness that was after me was trying to stop me. I wouldn't get through without a fight.
Ok, ¿cómo estoy en el puerto si no tengo luz, pedazo de idiota? Ah, ok, ya veo. Perdón por insultarte.
There was no power to the searchlight.
Me la complicas mucho, ¿no crees? El cable, el cable. El cable. Aquí está. Tiene que ser este sí o sí. Aquí está. Y ahora sí prendemos. Perfecto. Salta antes de que pase algo raro. Muy bien. Voy literalmente sin nada de nada, ¿eh? ¿Cómo cruzo esto? ¿Dónde está la radio? Está lejos, como quieran. No importa. Igual, lo mismo. ¡Wow! ¿Qué fue esa mierda? Ok. Ok, ese ok, era eso.
It took me a moment to recognize the flashbang grenades. They were an ideal weapon for my situation.
Granada de iluminación.
Come in. Over. Team 1, this is Sheriff Breaker. Report. Over. Team 2, come in. I need a report. Over. Come on, guys. Talk to me. Come in, please. Over.
Pensé que le podía contestar yo, pero creo que no. Pero no importa. Ya tenemos granada de munición. Iluminación, perdón. Ya, esa es otra cosa. Ahora sí. Jajajaja. Imbéciles, yo corro. Chúpate esa, desgraciado. Jejeje. Imbéciles, todos. Entonces creo que me dejé un chingo de cosas, ¿Que esto no se abre? Ah, encender.
And here's another call. You're on KBFFM with Pat Maine.
It's Milt Peabody, Pat.
What's on your mind, Milt?
Well, I live near the trailer park, Pat, and there's a big ruckus going on over there.
Well, that's just up the road from me, too. What's going on, do you know?
I don't know, but there's a bunch of police cars there, lots of sirens, a helicopter buzzing around, and I think I heard some gunshots.
Gunshots?
Yes, sir, like from a pistol. So can you find out what's going on? Because it's just next door and they're popping off guns there.
They're still
Está
shooting?
disparando a lo loco.
Oh, it was maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. It sounds serious, Pat. I'm telling you, it don't sound like no party.
I'm certainly going to give the station a call, Milt.
Okay.
You'll hear it here as soon as I hear from them.
Okay, thanks.
Ok, entonces empezaron a disparar así sin ningún tipo de razón, ¿no? Interesante. ¿Eh? Ah, hijo de puta. Chúpate esa. Vengo por este y me voy. Te chupas esta, dije. Eres un desgraciado. Chúpate esa. Pinche güey, me desespera que el cabrón corra una mierda. Chúpate esa. Corre, güey. Ahí está la policía. Cuidado con la policía es buena, güey. Ellos te ayudan siempre, carnal. Ellos siempre te ayudan. Porque ellos para eso están. Para servir al mundo. Para eso están ellos. ¿Qué chingón me estoy metiendo? Ni puta idea. Esa es la gasolinera, ¿no? No, es la radio, sí es cierto. A ver, güey, chúpate esta. Es jodiendo. Se mueren, ¿verdad? Sí, es que es una bomba tan poderosa. Aquí no entra nadie, ¿eh? Y el que
I hoped
entre...
Maine could lend me a car to get to the coal mine.
Termo. Esto da luz de arriba. Ok, bien. Hay un señor ahí.
Well, thank you very much for that compassionate viewpoint, Lorna.
Ah, es este cabrón.
A little surprise. The famous writer Alan Wake just walked in, folks. I'm gonna see if I can talk him into an interview.
Dígame, güey, por favor.
Come on in, Mr.
¡Eh!
Wake.
¿Quién chingo abrió la puerta,
Oh,
desgraciado?
I'm so glad you could find the time to do this, Mr. Wake.
Nowhere to run now, Dan Brown. You back away from me. Don't hurt her.
Whoa. Everyone calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him. What the hell's the matter with you? There's a civilian in there.
Alan, güey, pasó de ser escritor a ser un delincuente. Madre mía. Qué ironía de la vida.
I had fallen off so many cliffs it was ridiculous. That's what you get for naming a book The Sudden Stop. It was probably good I hadn't had the chance to tell Maine where I was going. I'd have to lose the cops and find my own way to the mine.
Tengo dos de esas. Importante recordarlo. ¡Ey! No tengo dos bengalas. Verga, güey. Bien, regresamos un pequeño corte. Estamos de vuelta. Te vi. De perra. Revólver, ahí está. Así viene lo bueno. Ahora sí se viene lo bueno, carnalito. Pero bueno, mientras pueda correr lo voy a hacer, así que yo corro. Mientras pueda correr lo voy a hacer, así que... Hijo de puta. Qué desgraciados son, hijos de perra.
There was no sensible reason for the power company work lights to be here. It was almost as if they'd been left for someone like me to use.
Ver, de puta. Ok. ¿Puedo entrar aquí? ¿Y si puedo entrar aquí? Uy, uy, uy. Uy. Malísima idea. Ah, qué hijo de perra es. No, qué malo, güey. Qué lento es este cabrón, güey. Es que es demasiado lento, güey. Ay, Dios, me desespera este puto Alan Wake. Es el sujeto más lento que he visto en mi puta vida, güey. Se van, hijos de perras. Retrocedan, hijos de puta. Este sujeto es un asco, Alan Wake. Es demasiado lento, güey.
Hello?
The most stubborn man I've ever met.
Alice? Alice?
Alan. Alan. I'm so afraid. Keeps me in the dark. Please help me. I look at you, Alan, and it's not you. Something else. Looking out from behind your eyes.
A lo que me refería.
Alice, I'm here.
I'm so alone here. It's all gonna go to hell. You need to be careful. Cooperate.
The connection had been terrible, but that wasn't the only thing that hadn't been right with the call. She sounded wrong somehow, but she had called me.
Creo que me dejé muchas
The bike
notas.
wrenched itself loose from the bridge's steel framework. Wrapped in darkness, it floated in midair, twitching. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was looking at. The heavy object lurched at me with impossible force. I threw myself out of the way, but just barely. When I turned my flashlight on it, it shook in a dark rage before it flew at me again.
Esta.
Nightingale stared through the broken studio window into the dark woods. He turned around, started to walk out, but Maine grabbed his arm. "Young man, you almost shot me. You don't shoot off rounds at people like that. What's the matter with you?" Nightingale shook his arm free, marched out. His cheeks burned with rage and humiliation.
Ok. Rose.
Touched by the dark presence, Rose was lost in a dreamland where everything was drawn in black and gray crayons. The old lady had promised her that all her wishes would come true. She would be Alan Wake's muse. She was smiling so hard it hurt her face. She crushed a bottle full of sleeping pills into the coffee. Deep down inside, she was screaming in terror.
Oh, muy bien. Ok, pues vamos
I could
para
see a
acá.
railway bridge up ahead and a warehouse of some sort on the opposite shore. I hoped I could find a car from there.
Por aquí. Ahí va otra vez lo que dijo Alice, ¿no? Que ella a través de los ojos de Alan no lo ve diferente. O sea, me parece que Alan Wake todo gira en torno a lo que él, a lo que este hombre hizo. Hola.
The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger.
Me caí.
It was taking over
Se fue a la
everything
mierda
in
todo.
its path. The darkness that was pursuing me was growing stronger, and it was taking over everything in its path.
Ala, pero qué mierda es esto. No me jodas, en serio, puta madre, güey. Vamos. Joder. Hijo de puta madre.
Slammed the door shut right in his smug face. As a teenager, just starting to get interested in writing, Stephen King had been a source of inspiration to me. I thought about all the inanimate objects that had come to life in his books. No one is safe in a good horror story. Certainly not the protagonist. That's what makes them fun. This was anything but. The darkness could possess anything, and it was getting closer.
Ok, vamos a ver si podemos, ¿no? Ah, qué puta mierda, en serio. Joder, no, no. Hay que matar a este pinche hijo de perra primero. A ver, chinga tu madre. ¿Quién más quiere? Porque mi pinche maldita polla, hijo de puta. En fin, mierdas, hijos de perra. ¿Quieren más o qué? Ya está abierto esto, espérame. Quiero checar. Es que es muy lento, güey. En serio, güey. No puede ser posible. Se cansa muy rápido, corre una mierda. Y luego no tiene gran resistencia a los golpes. Ah, una buena taza de café. Sí, ocupo unas 2 tazas de esas, por favor. 2, 3. Estamos aquí. Hola, buenas noches. Ay, ¿qué quieres? Y ahí viene este otro pendejo también. Putos. Está a chingar a tu madre, mierda. Perdón, pero es que me está colmando la paciencia bien cabrón, O sea, me está estresando, me está llegando a mis límites. No, o sea, también que me siento un poco cansado el día de hoy, estresado. Tal vez también sea por eso. Y es aquí, no sé qué chingos diga, ya me subo para acá. Bueno, a lo mejor hay algo, ¿no? Entre todo este rollo. No, no hay nada. Perfecto. Ah, buenas noches. Punto de control, busca un vehículo. Ah, qué bien. Si me das todo esto, porque va a haber combate. Combate el bueno, del que me voy a estresar. Ese es el bueno. Esta. Interesante esto. Quítame esto de aquí.
We take the facts of our existence for granted, unaware that they are merely a thin veneer of desperate self-delusion, covering a vast cosmos of madness and horror. All too often, the stars are right. In Night Springs.
Me gusta este programa. Night
This
Streams.
episode, a family occasion. Journalist Alvin Derleth's trip to study the local customs of an insular community in Night Springs has been less than successful. Until tonight.
Well, I'm glad you changed your minds about this. Ancient customs, local mythology. My editor loves this kind of stuff.
Well, Mr. Derleth, we don't want to feel like we're on exhibition, but you have demonstrated the seriousness of
least. What would I have to do?
Vas a morir, Dilet.
Let me show you with a kiss.
Ah. Wow, qué guarrada es esa.
Alvin Derlet learned a harsh lesson. If you go looking for mythology, it may come looking for you. And such quests always bear fruit. In Night Springs.
Me gusta, suena. Me gusta eso, eso. Me gusta lo de Night Springs. Muy bien, nos vamos. Nos largamos de aquí. ¡Ey! Qué bien, hola. La presencia oscura ataca, güey.
The darkness surged towards me, sucking everything loose from the ground into its depths, tugging at my clothes. I saw the flare the kidnapper had dropped and threw myself towards it just as I felt my feet leave the ground. The darkness embraced me with the force of a tornado. Somehow I managed to light the flare. The darkness roared and cast me away. I fell toward the dark waters of the lake far below.
La pinche oscuridad, güey. Hay que tener respeto, cabrón, porque nos está dando la madre bien gacho. Ok, pasamos de escenario. ¡Oh, what the fuck! ¿Ahora qué? Hola. No me jodas, en serio. Ahora peleamos contra un tractor gigante. Es un tractor. ¿Cuándo has visto un tractor pequeño? Espérame. Espérame, puñetón. ¿Esto qué onda? ¿Cómo, cuándo muere o qué chingados? ¿Este nunca muere o qué? Ah, ahí está. Gracias, hijo de perra. Ajá. Ahí está. Sinceramente, pudo haber salido muchísimo peor. Pero mucho peor. Y bueno, se ve bien. Hay que ir a ese carrito, hay que ir ahí. Sinceramente pensé que iba a ser. Iba a ser jodido la cosa, pero pues no, estuvo tranquilona, estuvo bien. Estuvo chévere. Ahora un puto tractor o no sé qué mierda sea eso. Ahorita se me fue el nombre. Un tractor gigante, dice tu amigo. ¿Cómo ves? Un tractor gigante. ¿Cuándo chingados has visto un tractor pequeño, no? Cabrón. Vamos a ir aquí. Arme esto rápido. Bien. Ah, como quiera no creo que haya enemigos, ¿o sí? Ah, buenas noches. Era un termo. Dame el termo. Gracias. Muchas gracias. Aquí está la luz. Ah, la luz es el punto de guardado. Oh, qué bien, Apenas me estoy dando cuenta que este es el punto de guardado, la luz. Ok, ¿quieres que entre aquí? Perfecto. ¿Y a dónde iremos? Esa es la
I
pregunta.
had never been this glad to see the sunrise. I had a couple of hours to get to the coal mine.
Ah, ya. Ya. Con el secuestrador, ¿verdad? El secuestrador.
The coal mine wasn't far now.
El secuestrador, sí, cierto.
Today, I would meet the kidnapper, and he would give me Alice. I wouldn't give him any other choice. A drowning man will clutch at a
De día,
straw.
vamos a jugar de día, qué raro, ¿no? Es jugar de día este juego. ¿Y por qué te puedes llevar el carro, animal? Ya que lo tenemos aquí. Ya que tu corres una mierda de lento. Pues sí, güey. Tenemos carro. ¿Y ese bugazo, ese
Little
bug?
by little, without realizing it, I'd come to believe that the story in the manuscript was coming true. The
Se está
current of its
bugueando el
narrative had
juego. ¿Qué
taken
está
me
pasando
deeper and
aquí?
deeper.
No, no se está bugueando, se bugueó. Sí, ah, huevo. Muy mal. Muy, ok, excelente. Muy bien, ¿eh? Muy bien. Muy bien.